We used to have 2 cameras.
She was awkward.
She
was awkward.
Maybe I have to be on that side.
Okay. You can be on that side.
I don't know why, I just feel weird with you on that side
I
tonight.
think you could switch around while we're talking.
Even?
We'll just have fun.
We'll just play roles.
I'll send you the whole thing, but we'll just have fun editing it and see if you like it.
I've always cared for parts of people that couldn't speak or weren't allowed into the culture, and I always felt like we walk in the woods and we love the trees that are weird looking, but why don't we as human beings love people that are just a little bit unusual too? So it's been with me since childhood. So,
I think it's very much the same for me. I grew up in the country, out on the prairie, and nature spoke to me all the time, you know. But then I realized that most people didn't hear nature. So there's this part of our own natures and part of nature that really needs a meta-communicator, someone to help speak. And so it's just a natural extension to go from nature to people's nature, and it's all part of the same thing. So
I think the basic principle that someone is always home and that communication is always possible, just believing in that inside ourselves allows for things to happen. And when families or staff hear that, that opens up doors for them that they're just ready to fall into and work with. But this one woman, she loves music, and so the staff was like beautiful with her. And they would like, they put her off in the corner. And they turned on the radio, which was singing one song, and she had her own song. And people would walk by and say, yes, Mary, you're doing great. Walk on. So we came up to her and we la-la'd with her. Oh, sorry, I'll sit back down. We la-la'd with her. La-la-la, la-la. And then she looked at us a little bit. And we la-la'd with her, and she started to take her hands out towards us. They'd been, like the stands were, and she reached both of her hands out. And we la-la'd. So Stan's on one side, I'm on the other, so she's holding both of our hands. It was so sweet. And then she starts just singing this amazing song.
Yes, we all love each other and we'll be in heaven together someday.
So beautiful. We almost couldn't bear leaving her. We just fell in love. I mean, it was just like so precious. And she just sang to us this amazing song and looked at both of us. So beautiful. And then we had to tell her we were going to go in a few minutes, and so we just let her know that we were going to have to leave, just to give her preparation time, and she kind of slowed her song down a little bit, and we said goodbye. It was very beautiful.
5 or 6 minutes.
That was very
for the whole
quick.
thing. She was ripe. She was ready. She was singing.
So it's kind of the difference between being nice to someone, which is also really important.
Supportive.
You just say hi, you need to engage with people, but also just doing what maybe appears weird to people, but really people do it all the time with their pets. They do it with their children. They're willing to like have fun and get down on the floor and be goofy or talk different. And if people just felt that same freedom with our elders or people in remote states, you get to meet these amazing people in there.
So the book title is actually, it's about my dad's last 4.5 years of life in a nursing home, a veterans nursing home in Manteno, Illinois. Very good nursing home. Very loving caregivers. I just can't praise them enough. But the Alzheimer's surprise party part is that I was in Oregon here studying process work, and my friend Tom Richards was working with my dad in Chicago. And then it looked like the end was near. And he had not known my mom for 2.5 years. Very far away.
Long time.
Very far away. And so I had a dream that looked like, showed me he was going to die within a few days, and I conferred with Tom. And then we knew that the mythic basis of my mom and dad's relationship was having fun. They met in a tavern, right? Oh, wow. And they had 1 or 2 parties a week minimum when I was growing up and after. So I said, so Tom and I conferred with Tom, my mission for you is to 7:30 tomorrow morning, you go over to my mom's house and you take my mom out and you have a party with my dad. Now he had not known her for 2.5 years. 5 days earlier he had aspirated, gotten pneumonia, and was in a coma besides very advanced Alzheimer's. So Tom says, okay. So he gets to my mom's house the next morning, and my mom had been out the day before for a miserable death vigil, just like depressing, sad. And Tom said, well, your son told me we got to go out and have a party with your husband. My mom says, all right. So they went out. Tom had wine, champagne, ice cream, party hats, party favors, and he actually came out of the coma, drank champagne, ate ice cream, drank wine, looked at my mom like eye contact, square in the face, knew who she was, sang songs that he hadn't said a word virtually in 2.5 years. His vocal cords weren't good, but he could go along with the tune and sing part of the words, hymns, songs from the 30s that were pretty risque,
Our nature's never changed.
And then Tom said, well, wouldn't you like to climb into bed and, smooch? And so my mom climbs into bed, and Tom says, I think I'll go wait for you out in the van. And so my mom comes out about 20 minutes later, and Tom says, well, Fran, how was it? And Fran says, oh, it was just like when the kids were little. The doctor and nurse came in and interrupted us. But that was the last, and then he died that evening. So it was the last wonderful party they had. So. Well, I remember giving a seminar at a World Work years ago, during one of the off times, and a man from Denmark came up, a CEO from Denmark came up and said, you must come to Denmark and give your seminar to my board of directors. Because people are always going into trances.
I was also thinking that some groups are marginalized culturally by other cultures, and some people that have a lot of privilege also feel marginalized, and that's a very complicated field when there's resource extraction needed by the culture and employment needed by people that live in a local area, and yet they want, how do we stand for the air and the water and the salmon that don't have any voice at all? Is that voice able to be represented? So really in many ways, speaking for those that don't have a voice for themselves is part of the work, and noticing what isn't said, or noticing power imbalances or privilege imbalances, and just trying to find ways to bring that in so that conversations can stay flowing, because usually every side is a little defensive.
Ghost roles,
upset.
hot spots, cool spots, basic stuff that we were learning last weekend at the Coast with Arnie and Amy. Well, relearning. I mean, we've been learning it for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
But there's only basic process work.
Yeah, right.
That's all there is.
Students, some new words.
Nature is boss. You can try to fight nature, but good luck.
Good.